So I'm going to throw another program out at you in the Big Ten Western Division that's almost the carbon copy. And up until a couple of years ago, we're kind of the super Iowa because Wisconsin was the better program and the better team, but they've not necessarily regressed. But maybe Iowa, it's a tough distinction to make. But similar in regards to difficulty in bringing in those dynamic players on both sides of the ball, but being so ridiculously solid up front on the offensive line and legendary backs. Your thoughts about Wisconsin? Although they seem to be striving for a playoff spot and seem to be more out there in regards to their goals and aspirations.
Well, it's you really see it where you could evaluate a program's goals, right, by what you feel on the recruiting trail. And I said it about Michigan forever. I recruited South Florida and Virginia Beach, two of the most fertile areas in the country, and never ran into Michigan. And it was just blew my mind. Like, how do they not recruit down here? The level of competition is amazing. And to apply that point to this conversation, I don't know if I ever saw Iowa, 7 years at Ohio State. I don't think I ever saw Iowa in a high school ever when I was there. And, maybe it's just, fortunate or unfortunate that just wrong timing and I just wasn't there at the right time. But over 7 years, I've seen just about every school and I never saw Iowa. But I did see Wisconsin. Wisconsin was down in South Florida. They were recruiting those types of athletes, trying to get what they needed, those tools, those bullets, that ammunition to compete with Ohio State. So you felt their program pushing for it. Now, who knows if they'll ever get there on that level, but they're trying. And that's what's so mind-blowing about Iowa is they just recruit Iowa. I mean, they recruit kind of regionally. You're never going to see them in Texas or California talking to a kid because they're in their mind, we're Iowa. We can't go get a kid there. And so that's kind of the difference between Wisconsin and Iowa. And you said it best. Wisconsin's kind of like the Iowa on steroids, right? They have a similar regional footprint where they can go get linemen, those big linemen, and you can always get a back to come to Wisconsin because you're going to hand it to them 35 times a game. But Wisconsin's push to get skill kids. I mean, Danny Davis out of Ohio was a skill kid that he was close to an offer for Ohio State, and they snagged him before I could get him to camp, and he ended up being a pretty good player. So Wisconsin does push that. And I don't have a good answer for why Iowa doesn't. If I was the head coach at Iowa going 9-3 every year, that's all I would be doing to my coaches is challenging them to go out and get the best players in the country. I mean, you're right on the cusp. Why not push to get to that next level, that next tier?
9-3 is actually over time a bit of a stretch. Ferenc is more in the 60 to 63% winning percentage.